They don't call him Scotty from marketing for no reason. Scott Morrison has perfected the art of media manipulation. In the old days, the way it would work is that the Prime Minister's office, the Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet, would leak a story about a policy announcement the next day to one favoured media outlet. It would be usually either Rupert Murdoch's News Limited or Fairfax Media, the Herald and the Age. Instead of leaking to one media outlet, what Scott Morrison is doing now is he's got all of the major media outlets together and he leaks to them at least once or twice a week major policy announcements, thereby ensuring favourable coverage. Now, not all the journalists are the same. You know, you have the ABC and the Guardian, which aren't as friendly to the government as Nine, and certainly not as friendly as the Government Gazette, the Australian. But the fact of it is that all the major media now get the story. They usually get it sometime between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock or thereabouts. They get it the day before. They go to press on their websites at about 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock at night. When the morning radio and the morning TV producers get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and they start preparing their shows, they look at what has been written here by the Canberra correspondents, the most senior and experienced journalists in the country. They take the lead from what is in the main newspapers and the main media websites such as The Guardian and of course the ABC. Now, with the gas announcement this last week, they all were as one. What a fabulous announcement. And that set the media agenda for the next day. This week we've had the insolvency announcement. There's been 2 or 3 other leaks, which were all leaked to the major media organisations. So the Financial Review, the Australian, the Herald, the Age, the Guardian, ABC, that's pretty much the club, the Canberra bubble. They all run more or less the same stories. Now, they do bring scrutiny to the story after the media cycle has moved on a little bit, but the next day the media agenda has been set. Talkback Radio and Morning TV are running the line that has been produced by the major news websites. And then often the government will do something like have the National Press Club lunch, for instance, the day after the big gas leak, where Andrew Leveris, who's advising the government on gas, got up and sang the praises of the government's announcement. It's not until the next day that the actual policy detail comes out. Some days it doesn't even come out the next day. By that time, it's all over the news, and the news cycle is moving on to its next item. The agenda has been set, the public relations campaign has been done. The way that the Prime Minister engenders loyalty in the journalists, because a lot of them are professionals that really do a very good job most of the time, but they have to explain to their editors, if they say, we didn't run this story, this exclusive story, why didn't you get the story when all the other newspapers and other media outlets had the story? So the threat of exclusion, being excluded from the bubble, is enough to ensure a certain level of compliance. And then once the story is laid into the website or the newspaper, it's the editors who are generally pro-government, who put the headlines on, the photographs on, the captions on, the subheadings on, and they affect the presentation, the placement and the positioning of the story. We're following this manipulation of the media on Pearls and Irritations. That's johnmenadue.com. John himself used to be an advisor to both Gough Whitlam and then Malcolm Fraser's prime ministerships. He himself used to do the leaking to the one single media organisation. And he knows firsthand how detrimental this is for the public interest, to have the entire media writing obeisantly, compliantly, the same story. Every week now, perhaps a number of times a week, we're going to feature on John Menadue's Pearls and Irritations a section called The Tamed Estate. And the Tamed Estate will monitor the media manipulation. You won't see this anywhere else because the entire mainstream media does this as a block. So it's only in independent media, like Pearls and Irritations, that you can really get to see how this system works.